get active for 6-8 seconds. Guys, this is what we had to get. This ain't the one we want. You got that ball!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Laurel Leader Call Sports Show. I'm your host, Jack Fairchilds, joined alongside Kevan Lindsey and my good friend and yours, Josh Guru Nichols. Not a lot to recap this week, of course. It is Thanksgiving week, but it's also the South State and North State Championship week for each classification here in the state of Mississippi. We only had one team that we can recap that we were at a game. Kevin was at the Laurel Stone game last week. Guru and I both had it on the radio. So we're pretty familiar with what went on in this game. But Kevin, we're going to start with you because you were there on the sidelines for this game.
And you know what, Jack? I made a promise.
You did make a promise.
I made a promise. And off the boot of Kenneth Geronimo! I said, what did I say?
You said you would wear a Laurel helmet if Coach Ryan Ernest presented us with one. And on Monday, you and I went there and interviewed him, and he had your choice of helmet, so that way you could actually get one that fits this time.
Yeah, unlike the West Jones helmet we have up there behind you, Jack, this one should fit. Coach Ernest, very good sport about it, very good. He had a multitude of helmets, but we had to find the biggest one, and I am a man of my word. And because of that, we're putting on the helmet, baby. We're strapping up. Yeah.
Coach Ernest did say that if Kevin had any eligibility, he'd play him Friday night. So.
Oh, yeah.
True story.
Extra large helmet, baby. It's an offensive line helmet. Mm-hmm. It's got some marks. You can just, yes, go. Anyway. So, yeah.
Well, now that we've got the ridiculousness out of the way, the ridiculousness will be here for the remainder of the show, but tell us a little bit about the game last Friday night.
Well, let me tell you guys, I wasn't in this game even though I'm wearing the helmet, but it was a great game. I mean, it was an all-time one of those games that you're going to look back on, and there's going to be so many memories from this game. Stone, I want to commend those kids, man. Just really good play from both teams, both defenses. You had a couple of runs where a couple of guys got loose for Stone. That's what gave them their touchdowns. But Laurel, they answered at every point where they needed to answer at in this game. And I think that's the biggest thing that I saw is instead of, even whenever they got behind in this game, they answered back and done what they had to do. I asked Coach Ernest about his wide receivers and Collier and McCormick and Jenkins stepping up. And that's the thing that I saw is their wide receivers have a ton of confidence now, and so does Bivens. Now, it wasn't always pretty. Near the end of that game, Bivens threw an interception. He underthrew. I think it was Jenkins he underthrew. Stone gets the interception, drives all the way back, scores, ties the game, 21-all. But Laurel comes back, and they did catch a couple of breaks.
Roughing the punter.
Yeah, one roughing the punter on fourth down that kept the drive going, and then a pass interference call that kept the drive going and got them in position. But, hey, that's just kind of how it goes, and that's kind of what happens sometimes. Is you get those breaks and you catch those breaks. I shouldn't even call them breaks. I mean, it was just mistakes that happen, from Stone.
And you said that being there, that it wasn't like iffy calls. They were definitely
neither call
the correct call.
Yeah, neither call was iffy. Both of them, as soon like with the pass interference, as soon as it happened, I mean, it was clear as day. It was pass interference, and then of course the roughing the punter. I mean, I get Stone was going for the block, and they probably needed it because Laurel could have pinned them back. So I understand that they were going all out, but it was clear. And then, like I said, Laurel gets down there and Stone does what they can to try to freeze the kicker. And I actually think, talking to Geronimo, that I think it actually helped him. It kind of worked the nerves out. Instead of just going out there and kicking the ball, he had some time to look at it, see that it wasn't a far kick, and just done what he had to do, kicking a 23-yard field goal for the win.
Didn't he kind of laugh it off? You said,
yeah, it was funny. Like I've got a picture of him whenever he's watching it go through, and I looked and it was in my lens for the kick and his after he goes through, and then I pull up to see and make sure the kick is going through, and whenever I look back, he's like smiling. He knows this in and it's good. He takes he's a soccer player, committed to East Central. And he does the soccer thing, man. He does this complete soccer celebration and goes down. It was great. It was cool. Cool.
Was it the running knee slide celebration?
No, he didn't want a knee slide. He was scared that he would get hurt. And obviously, he didn't want to do that with pads and everything on. But he went all the way around. I wanted him to do. And if I see him Friday night or whenever I see him next, I want to ask him. He should have done the Pat McAfee, the big walk, But
the Ronaldo jump if he wants to stick with soccer.
Right. So, but yeah, just a great game. And, man, Laurel's hot. They are super, super hot right now.
Guru, you and I were out on deliveries, but thanks to our friends at Super Talk, we had it on the radio, and we were trading texts during the game while we were stopped at a stop to give out the paper. We would never text and drive.
Absolutely not.
But we were trading texts throughout, and I remember after that field goal went through and we knew Laurel had won, you and I both were blowing our horns. I think I called you right after it was good. I mean, we were extremely excited for the Golden Tornadoes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought Super Talk up because I wanted to give a shout out to play-by-play guy Caleb Hamill. Your call on that kick was awesome. Spot on. We all listened to the scoreboard show afterwards, and they were talking about getting you in your call in the intro, and I definitely think it should be. So kudos to you, Caleb, on the Geronimo winning field goal. And yeah, I mean, I think we pretty much kind of wrapped it all up in a nice little present with a bow on top, and we got the Tornadoes moving on. And I think outside of the game, though, I think Kevin has some venting to do.
I think
in
there's
regards
more to the story,
not just maybe
right now he's trying to fuel up
at Stone, not game officials, maybe
I gotta watch what I
Mississippi
say.
Gulf Coast College.
It
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what happened after the game.
Y'all want to have
was over?
story time with Kevin Lindsey?
Let's have story time with Kevin Lindsey.
All right, so story time with Kevin Lindsey is this, and there are plenty of witnesses for this. This chin strap is killing me.
You can remove the chin strap and just keep
I
the
don't
helmet
think
on.
I can.
You can keep the helmet off at this point.
Anyway, so I'll do this. So
Sideline, Kevin.
yeah, we're on the sidelines right
Here's
now.
a sideline report with Kevin Lindsey.
Yeah. So I gotta take this off for a minute. There we go. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, as I'm not gonna call out people because they'll know exactly who they are. But there was some times where you had some people on the sideline that were kind of smart alecks, and anyway. You got
working on the chain gang.
You got some. You had some people that were just kind of just. I don't know. They were smart alecks. I'll just leave it at that. And anyway, you have security there and sheriff's department and all that. Well, right before Geronimo goes to kick, I look over because I've got my bag and stuff near the gate. I always set my bag, and if I'm not shooting, I always put my camera there. Anyway, I noticed that security had walked over, and like sheriff's department deputy had walked over, and they were like motioning at the gate. And, you always hear on the PA, hey, don't get on the field if, after the game for fans and all that. They do want to keep the kids safe. I'll commend them for that. Obviously, want to keep people safe. So I see them motioning like at the gate, and I'm like, oh, somebody's gonna stand at the gate or whatever, and make sure nobody gets on the field. So Geronimo kicks the ball, goes to the upright. Laurel wins. Everybody's celebrating, and Callie actually noticed it before I did. She's like, oh, the sheriff's department, everybody's gone, and they're like going around because it was in Mississippi Gulf Coast. They're going around and walking around the fence area. Well, some of the staff and whatnot are trying to get out, cheerleaders, and the gate is locked. And not only is it locked, it's deadbolt locked. They had locked us in, and they had locked from what now? Maybe it was different on Mississippi, on Stone side and Mississippi Gulf Coast side, that part of the field or whatever. But every gate was locked that was available, and I'm pretty sure Laurel the players only had like one small little gate to be able to go through. And
wasn't it on like the opposite side of the field from where they actually had to get to?
Yeah,
to get back to the
from
locker
what I
room?
understand, yeah. But yeah, the cheerleaders and dance team and all of that, teachers that were on the sidelines and helping out, and people who had the chairs for the team, because they got the tent and with the chairs and stuff, coolers, all that stuff, they couldn't get out. It was locked. And it was, look, I'm gonna be honest. Unless you don't have a brain, that people have to get out, and they had completely locked it. And cheerleaders had to go under the bleachers, like army crawl under the bleachers. I had to do it. I had to get a cheerleader and stuff to help grab my bag, and Callie had to do the same and go under. And we go and get our way to the car, and we're going out, and the sheriff's department is flagging people where to go. And I look up because I was getting my photos ready. So Callie was driving. So I'm looking down at my phone and iPad, and I look up and I'm like, we're going to New Orleans. These people did not direct us to go back. They were directing us to go to New Orleans and miss the exit, or miss the turnaround. So I told Callie there was a little service road, and I told her, I was like, go down here. And of course, a couple of fans, they go follow behind us, and we finally get around and are able to turn around. I'm just going to say it's a little classless. I'm going to be honest with you. It was.
It was definitely intentional.
Yeah, there's no way it wasn't intentional. Why would you first of all, why would you lock the gate of where the cheerleaders and staff and people with coolers and all of that stuff for the team? Why would you lock that gate? Somebody should have been standing there. And I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't know if it was Stone people or if it was Mississippi Gulf Coast people. But
or Stone County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. I get it, the Stone County Sheriff's Department, because there was I think it was 4 or 5 deputies. I get it if they had to go out and then direct traffic. But even then, I'm kind of like, why are you sending people to New Orleans knowing that Laurel people are having to go?
And even then, if they had to go out and direct traffic, they could have come back and locked it. They didn't have to lock the gate when they knew people were.
And there was other security there too. Yeah. It wasn't just the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
I'm not trashing the sheriff's department or anything like that. That's not what I'm doing. But it's just really weird, and it was really strange. I've never had that happen before, where they just lock you in, basically. But yeah, I mean, even at that point, why didn't someone say, "Hey, we're going to lock this gate. Here's another gate to go out."
Yeah.
Why were all the other gates locked? That's just whatever. Anyway, it was army crawling under bleachers and
cheerleaders
and all having to do that. Just crazy. Absolutely.
Just classless.
I was not happy. I was not a happy guy having an army crawl under bleachers. So
Guru, I think Kevin was nicer than you and I would have been if that had been. We would have named names.
Going back in the game.
We would have named names. I mean, it's just.
If I knew them.
It's 100% absurd that, again, if you did this because you were bitter that you lost, then be better. Just be better. Because plain and simple, this is for the kids there. You're representing the school, both schools in Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College and Stone. We don't know who was in charge of the facilities at that moment. We don't know who locked the gate, but whoever it was, be better. Plain and simple.
Totally agree. I mean, I've been to Southwest Community College each of the last 2 years when South Jones played North Pike down there. Of course, North Pike was ecstatic with this year's result, but the year before, South Jones won. Both years we entered and exited the exact same way.
Yeah.
There was no
Drama.
I mean, I guess playoff game and emotions got the best of some people, but and some of the other stories that Kevin relayed to us talking about members of the opposing teams, people working over on the sidelines that aren't coaches that carry sticks and stuff that have chains attached to them. Yeah, you guys suck.
Amen.
You're just, I mean, I didn't, something happened, Kevin, when you were telling me that story, because when I was at the South Jones Wayne County game, I got into a conversation with the Wayne County chain gang, and the dude I spoke to was totally awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, we had and that's not the first time this year that I've been at a visiting school and talked to members of the chain gang.
Yeah.
At Brookhaven for the South Jones game, did the same thing, had great conversations. I mean, you know, and at that time in the Wayne County game, Wayne County hadn't blown the doors open yet. You know, I mean, it was still a close game. And at the Brookhaven game, this is when South Jones started to come back. And one of the Brookhaven chain members looked at me and was like, well, here we go again. I was like, what do you mean? And he said, well, such and such weeks ago, we were playing so-and-so and we got up. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, we give up 4 straight touchdowns and y'all have already scored 2 more. And looks like it's going to happen again. But I mean, you know, I don't know. Grow up.
If you're an adult and you're at a high school activity, Little League, it doesn't matter. Be the adult. You're supposed to set an example for the kids, and doing something petty like that is definitely setting the wrong example. Regardless of who you work for, you're representing that school while you're there.
Yeah.
And that's what you should wear that as a badge of honor. You should not be so childish that when your team doesn't win, you think of ways, how can we get them back? It's just foolish, childish, stupid. You know, I think we can move on because I think this week Laurel will probably be hosted a lot better based on what Guru just said about his experience at Old Brook a couple of weeks back.
I've never really had a bad experience over there besides their announcer that's on the PA. He sucks.
We'll get to that here in a second. Goodness. Guru's going down his list. If you see him on his phone right now, he's going through his "this person sucks" list. That's what he's looking up at the moment. But yes, Laurel travels to Brookhaven to face Old Brook this week. This is a game that is a rematch from just a few weeks ago. Brookhaven won the game, but it was a close game. Laurel had its chances. Kevin, you and I sat down with Coach Ernest when he gifted you with the helmet. We talked to him about this game. Coach Ernest is as confident as he's been all year long. Mm-hmm. Even when they were 0-6, he always maintained he knew he had a team that could make this run. But he knows this is a tough Old Brook team. And he told us that it starts with that quarterback, and that's where that's who they need to contain going in. Kevin, what's your takeaway going into this game?
You know, I was at the first half of this game in the regular season, and you know, Laurel actually scored first. Mm-hmm. They took the lead. One thing of note in this first game, and I know we're previewing the one, but this one, but one thing that I went back and I looked at our game story on was you had Abney get hurt, mm-hmm. and once that happened, that's whenever Old Brook scored, and mm-hmm. then there was another play. It was a pick six, mm-hmm. and it got called back for a pass interference call, and
a questionable one.
Yeah, and Old Brook wins at 14-6. So, you know, I don't want to take away from anything that Old Brook did in that game, because they won that game, and there's missed calls in every game and different things like that. But if you go back, Laurel was in that game from start to finish. They were in that game. And if I'm Coach Ernest, I'm saying, okay, we got better. They are obviously getting better. And Old Brook is good. Okay, I'm not taking anything away from them, but Old Brook played a really good game in that first regular season matchup, and Laurel probably didn't play their best game. So
And at the same time, Laurel hadn't won a game all year.
right,
Coming into that game,
right, yeah,
that was their region opener.
yeah, they were probably at one of their lowest points of the year, probably mentally, I would think.
I would agree.
Despite what Coach Ernest says, they're still over at the time.
Yeah.
And now you got a team that is coming in hot. They just had a big win. I tend to say I hate having that big emotional high and then going into another game. But this Laurel team feeds off of confidence. This is historically how they've been. They feed off of confidence. So I look at this game and I know it's that Old Brook, but man, I gotta like my chances. I gotta like my chances going in. I think Collier is standing out. McCormick is standing out. It's opening up things for Zachariah, one of our Dirty Dozen guys. Bivens is getting hot as a passer. He's talked about it. Coach Ernest talks about he's maturing. You can see that. I mentioned it to y'all over the past couple times I've covered Laurel the past couple of weeks. He's making better decisions. He's tucking the ball and getting what he can get. This is what you want for a team that's peaking at this time.
Guru, you're actually traveling to Brookhaven to cover this game for us. You know, I know you're a stats guy. You go down the matchup and you look at stats a lot of times. What are the keys to this game?
Well, I mean, first of all, you look and since that 14-6 Laurel game, Brookhaven played Summerall next week, 121-9. Then ever since then, I mean, they've been putting up right at 40 points a game. They got into that early 19-0 lead over South Jones, in which South Jones did outscore them 24-23 the rest of the way. But over the last 4 weeks, 41-7 over North Pike, 38-0 over Natchez, 55-6 over Northeast Jones, and then last week, kind of in a stunner, a 42-7 win over the same Wayne County team that had just beaten South Jones 34-10. I mean, for one, it's they're hot too. I mean, they're on a 7-game win streak, and we were talking about one of the keys to the game, which Coach Ernest alluded to, and that would be quarterback Jaden Allen, dual threat. And then, I mean, I've watched him play. If that kid finds a crease, whether it's up a seam or he gets to the outside, if he gets to the secondary and you don't make a tackle, he's going to take it to the house. I watched him do it. And they've got several other very fast players. But at the same time, Laurel's offense also has big playmakers. And I think this one, you know, as we will make our picks later on, but just from a preview standpoint, I will leave it with that. I think it comes down to whoever plays better at the quarterback position and protects the ball the best.
I agree. I'm looking forward to it. You know, so we'll get back to it when we get to our pick segment.
And also, that's Super Talk will be in the house.
Super Talk will
you can't make it 99.3 FM.
Or the Super Talk app.
Or the Super Talk app from anywhere in the world.
I have definitely utilized that a time or two when we were covering another game and somebody wanted to score. It was like easy to just pull that app up on your phone, listen for a second. So again, there's multiple ways to listen if you can't make the game. And it being the day after Thanksgiving, that can make it a little bit harder for some folks to make it. But I think most Laurel fans are going to figure out a way to get to Old Brook this weekend.
Yeah, they'll be there.
Now, speaking of it being Thanksgiving, you know, I thought it might be a fun wild card question. What is your favorite Thanksgiving Day side? Cannot be a dessert. Can't be the main course of a turkey. It's what's your favorite. You can choose an appetizer. If that's technically your favorite side, you're allowed it. Kevin, what's your favorite Thanksgiving side?
I mean, you can't have Thanksgiving without the dressing.
Amen.
I would argue I don't even know if it's a side dish. I think when you think of Thanksgiving, it's turkey and dressing.
The dressing is fantastic, and it is not Thanksgiving dinner without dressing. And the heck with those Northerners, we want dressing, not
It's not
stuffing.
stuffing. It's not stuffing. What are we doing? If I was to say a true like side, like the game changer side, though, I mean, deviled eggs, boy.
There you go.
That's
There
a
you
good
go.
one.
That's a really good one.
I think first would be natural light. I mean, I don't know if that's good for this show or not.
It's a drink.
Oh,
A
okay.
drink.
Yeah.
But it is on
going,
the side, right?
yeah, but we're going with an actual dish.
Deviled eggs, as long as they don't have sweet relish in them.
Yeah, you gotta have.
I
dill
agree with
relish.
that too.
If you, oh,
Potato salad the same way. It's gotta have dill
absolutely,
relish.
absolutely. I just for me personally, my mom's, and it has to be hers. Nobody else's comes close. But for me, it's my mom's sweet potato casserole. It's I mean, I have the recipe, but I can't. So there's something she does that you can't replicate, and I'm hoping that she's going to whip some up tomorrow for when we go by to visit her. And I like dressing. Not a totally huge fan. Doesn't matter. I mean, but it has to be done right, because a lot of times I've had it in various forms. Some people tend to have it too dry. I don't like it dry. But for me personally, in a close second, green bean casserole. And that too, it has to be made right. You got to have some little bit of Cajun seasoning there, in my opinion, to make it work just right. But green bean casserole comes in the number 2 place, right behind Mama's sweet potato casserole.
I'm going to agree with Kevin on dressing, but I do also understand the argument that's very much a part of the meal, that you can't have Thanksgiving without it. We're all probably partial to our mom's dressing, without a doubt.
My grandma's dressing.
My grandma, my grandmother could cook better than anybody I ever knew, but dressing, my mom's was my favorite, probably because it's the one I had the most. But I also like a good green bean casserole, like you were talking about. My sister makes a really good one. I don't know that she puts the Cajun seasoning in it, but she does just enough right things to make that.
And that's one of those things, and actually both of them that y'all said, the dressing and the green bean casserole. I mean, typically you really don't eat that any other time of year.
No, you don't.
Maybe some people fix it again at Christmas. Typically we like to change things up so it's more of its own Christmas meal, different from the Thanksgiving meal. But yeah, can't go wrong with any of the 3.
Look, I'm sure we're all looking forward to destroying some turkey and anything else that's placed in front of us. So
I'm looking forward to readers of the Saturday edition of the Leader Call getting 4 turkey sandwich leftover recipes.
That's right.
Teaser.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot we did that.
What's the best Thanksgiving Day movie?
The Packers
only
beating
one.
the Lions.
There's
the
only
Packers beating the Lions.
That's a sporting event, not a movie.
It's a movie to me.
There's only one Thanksgiving Day movie. Trains and
Outside of maybe turning on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, I have football on. I'm not watching a movie on Thanksgiving.
I'm not talking about you're watching it on Thanksgiving. I'm just talking about it set at it, and it's planes, trains, and automobiles. There's no other Thanksgiving movie that I can even think of that has the Thanksgiving theme.
I mean, it came out way before you were even born.
Never seen it.
You need to check that one out. Steve Martin, John Candy.
Who?
Yeah, somebody's gonna. I knew he was gonna do that. It doesn't feature Taylor Swift because she wasn't born yet.
1989. That's what I watched some of last night. The Eras tour.
Muted. Anyway, let's.
What about one other topic that came up last weekend and the MAIS state championship game?
Oh goodness. Yeah, that's one I wanted to talk about. And we can do it now or we can do it after the college picks, but I think it's probably better now. There was an incident, Guri. Do you have that one pulled up in front of you? Because my my brain's. I know I sent it to y'all, and now I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, it was Lamar playing Brookhaven Academy at Mississippi College. I believe it's in the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar, quarterback, is flushed out of the pocket, can't find a receiver, goes out of bounds on the Brookhaven Academy sideline. And I don't know if either of y'all saw any more of this, but I saw another video, and it wasn't a coach, but it was an injured player who basically he had slack. He didn't typically do what a lot of players do at high school, collegiate, and sometimes even NFL, have, street clothes on with a jersey.
Yeah.
He just had a blue pullover, and
He looked like a coach.
Yeah, he's a really big dude. I mean, he's like Kevin's size. And if you see Kevin standing on the high school sideline wearing the same thing the coaches wear, you're just going to assume he's a coach, which I get. But he wasn't. But as Lamar's quarterback goes out of bounds, this cat just shoves him in the side to the ground. And Lamar's quarterback still hold on to the football, and the dude's ticked off, and I get it. It's not hard to find the video. And he pops up and he turns and he's trying to hit the person that pushed him down with a football, and he fires the football into the back of a Brookhaven Academy player. Then a scuffle starts. Then he does get pushed around by a coach. The kid gets ejected from the game.
Yeah.
The quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All Brookhaven Academy gets is a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Ridiculous.
I mean, what in the world? I mean, we've blown things up with the MHSAA, but MAIS, dude, really?
Yeah.
I mean, you watch the video. I mean, just being there and seeing it happen, regardless if that's a player dressed in street clothes or a coach, he's there on the Brookhaven Academy sideline as a part of that team, and he shoved the opposing opponent's quarterback to the ground. He automatically should have been ejected.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Coach or not, eject.
I mean, I think it should have been flipped. I think he should have been ejected. Then the Lamar quarterback gets assessed an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
It's a state championship game. You don't eject the quarterback after he got shoved to the ground. I think that's a bad look for the organization, a bad look for the officials that were at that game. It was one of those, and I'm glad at least it wasn't a coach. I'm glad that you found that out, because when I first sent y'all the story, it was being reported that was a coach. That's why Guru clarified that, because that's the first I'd heard it wasn't a coach. But it's still absurd no matter what had happened. And fortunately, Brookhaven did not win that game, so losing the quarterback did not cost them. They were able to still rally, but still, you stole that moment away from that kid, and the guy that started it all just gets to stay right there on the sideline. Mm-hmm. It's a bad look. The Mississippi private school, whatever they're associated, I can't remember all those letters, but
and two, what would we have done if it was a player for Brookhaven Academy in uniform that shoves the quarterback to the ground?
Yeah.
What's going to happen then? Is he going to get ejected?
You would think so. I mean,
and if he's going to get ejected, then why wouldn't anybody that's standing on that sideline dressed in Brookhaven Academy
if a member of the media had done it, pushed the kid off, you probably get a stern talking to at the very least. You probably do get ejected.
Should be.
I mean, I'm not saying that like a media
if one of us, if he's coming at you and you're protecting yourself, that's one thing. But if we're on the Laurel sideline and an old Brook player comes at me Friday night and I trip him or I just shove him to the ground,
you should be ejected.
I'm probably going to be in the Brookhaven Police Department jail.
Yeah, handcuffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the truth. I mean, I don't know. I think I haven't looked too much into it. I'll be perfectly honest. I really haven't. I did see where our my friend Blake Levine, he's posts about it. And I think his post actually drew national attention or drew media's attention on national media. And that's what I think that's the biggest question I have. Is where are you at, MAIS?
Well, not only that, but he reached out to Brookhaven Academy on 2 different instances, and they just ignored him.
Yeah, and people are like, well, it's Thanksgiving week. Well, there's people there's still people around.
They just don't want to deal with
I mean, it happened on Saturday. I'm sure Blake didn't wait till Tuesday of this week to try to contact him.
Yeah,
we know him better than that. I mean, come on.
And your school is getting national media attention for this now. People are aware.
Yeah.
People are aware, and the New York Post had names of people who were involved at this point. And I think I will say this. The MHSAA, I do feel like would have addressed it. It may not have been what people wanted, and it may have just been a Chat GPT generated statement, but they would
no more
probably
ban tailgating as a result of the player
they would
getting
have
shoved
recommended
down.
no tailgating. Yeah, but no, but I do feel like that the MAIS has to say something, and their silence speaks volumes.
It's absurd, and they already have a black eye for this entire playoff system because you had a team
Don't even go there.
that cheated to get into a lower level.
Hey,
That ended up losing the state championship game anyway, which was justice at
we
least.
don't want to say cheated. We don't want to say cheated.
I'll say that it was Bush League. It was
They
Bush.
played within the rules.
They played within the rules, Jack.
And the rules are stupid to allow.
We have a different opinion than Jack.
No.
Watch the water boy. See my new offense.
It's so terrible in the way that but again, justice was served. That team.
I mean, it became terrible before the season even started with that whole algorithm of a point system and deciding. I mean, just trash that.
It's worse than a winless team making the playoffs.
Absolutely. That's the first time I've ever heard that or thought of that, and you're absolutely right. I'd rather have a winless team in the playoffs than using some algorithm that came from God knows where. I mean, I don't know what genius came up with that, but God, if you go back to what was that, like 3-4 weeks ago on the post-game Super Talk scoreboard show when they had the guy on trying to explain how that whole thing worked out over about a 4-minute segment. And I think every one of us talked about it later, that it was just so painful to listen to that we either turned it off or got a headache or both.
Right.
We're not going to try to replicate that ever, because I wouldn't ask either of my two co-hosts to do that, and I know I'm not going to.
I wouldn't ask any of the local high school teachers that teach algebra, geometry, advanced algebra to try to figure out that equation.
It's terrible, but again, I agree they need to say something. I don't think they will. I think they're using the excuse of Thanksgiving week to stay silent, and then they're hoping it goes away next week.
And the fact that all of their championship games have been played in their seasons.
What did I miss? Please tell me whatever
Somehow
it is.
Genius over there forgot he had a face mask in front of him and tried to drink out of his cup. I'm glad that's on camera. Wow. Why didn't you bring a straw? You knew you were going to have that cup and that helmet.
Well, Coach Ernest, he is making right on his promise to wear that helmet.
That's why I got eligibility. Well,
I don't think Coach Ernest is going to put you in anymore, big guy.
awareness 0.
You should have got a Powerade squirt bottle from him.
I should have.
Well, it's that time to get into our our college picks first. And of course, this is rivalry week, so there are going to be a lot of marquee rivalry games to talk about. There's one that Guru does not have on here that I'm gonna add to it.
Arizona State, Arizona?
Absolutely not. But I think we have to pick Ohio State at Michigan because the ramifications with Ohio State being the number one team in the country. Michigan having what, Guru? It's a 5-game winning streak or a 4-game winning streak?
4.
They're going for 5 then. It's at Michigan. This is going to be another tough game. There's a lot of criticism about Ohio State in the fact that they've had a relatively soft schedule.
Frauds.
And in the last couple of years, this Michigan team has been their kryptonite. Is it going to happen again? I don't think so, but it's a hard game to pick because of how it's gone. Give me Michigan. I'm gonna go. with Michigan to hand the Buckeyes a loss.
took all my momentum, man. In the
Wow.
Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, I cannot root for Ohio State. It is go big blue, baby. Michigan, go, baby. That's the one game besides the Iron Bowl I would love to go to at either place.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. I think if you say either place, in a year like this or in the last couple of years when they typically play both ranked, I think I'd have to go to the Big House first.
Yeah.
I know they talk a lot about the shoe, but I just remember growing up hearing more about the Big House, and that would be outside of most SEC venues that I haven't been to. I think the Big House would definitely be top 5 bucket list
Beautiful
for college stadiums. Oh, absolutely. No, the Buckeyes get the monkey off their back this year. Last year they lost to Michigan and then turned around and won the national championship. So this year, my good buddy Kevin Neal served in the Navy together and still stay in contact to this day. He's going to be happy for this weekend, but that sets up Ohio State to get knocked out of the playoffs later on in a flip-flop from last year. It's going to be a good game, I think close, but Ohio State wins.
Next, we've got Georgia at Georgia Tech. You know, this is called a rivalry game. They're both in the state of Georgia, but
oh no, this is not just a rivalry game. Do you not know what the nickname for this game is?
give me the nickname.
Clean, old-fashioned hate.
That's right. That's right.
This is more than a rivalry.
This
This is
one
two
that
teams that hate each other.
it's one that doesn't resonate the way that it used to. People may not realize it. Georgia Tech was once a member of the SEC, and they left the SEC.
Yeah, and so was Sewanee.
So was Swanee. So was Tulane.
Yep.
You know,
Too lame.
but Georgia, they've definitely one of the few SEC teams that has kept Georgia Tech on their schedule year after year. It is old-fashioned hate, but Georgia's just going to be too much for them. I just don't see Georgia. I know it's at Georgia Tech, but give me the Bulldogs.
Yeah, this is one of the worst rivalries in the country. I agree with Brandon Walker. And
You
they
said
do their
something
top
about
five.
Arizona State.
Yeah, but that was a dig at our short friend. Nah, Georgia and Georgia Tech. I mean, it's a rivalry. I'll give it that. Georgia wins this. They take care of business.
So we all know, and most of you out there also know, rivalry weekend, there's going to be upsets that aren't foreseen. I mean, I'm not going down this list and just picking all the favorites. Therefore, Georgia's already locked. Most likely, I think there's very few scenarios where Georgia doesn't make the SEC title game. But I think they're going to overlook the Ramblin' Wreck. I got Tech rolling in a close one.
Wow. Bold pick there. So next we've got, and this is definitely a classic rivalry, one that just got renewed.
This ain't no rivalry. That's just two damn teams from Texas playing each other.
You know, it got renewed last year, you know, after a few years off because A&M decided to join the SEC without Texas. But now Texas is there. They're hosting A&M this year. Texas was able to win on the road last year against A&M. This A&M team's coming in this game undefeated.
Frauds.
Texas is a question mark team. You know, they've been a Jekyll and Hyde team, but they have proven that they can beat a rival because they beat Oklahoma earlier this year. But I think the Aggies, I don't think that they're as strong as their record may indicate, but I just don't believe in this Longhorn team. So I think the Aggies get it done this year.
The Aggies are going to win this game. They're going to beat Texas. I saw a post saying that Arch Manning should still be the number one quarterback taken off the board after the season. That is baloney. Texas A&M is going to exploit Arch Manning. Aggies roll.
Wow. You know, I'm gonna steal something from you from last week, and this is the first time that A&M and Texas have played at Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium in 15 years. All right. Hook 'em, baby. Give me the horns at home and the upset.
This guy right here, he's picking upsets everywhere except for the Ohio State games. Or is that an upset with the way Michigan's owned them the last 4 times? So who knows? Next, we've got Vanderbilt at Tennessee. I'm pretty confident you guys are going to disagree with me here because I think the Vols win at home.
Oh, no, baby. Anchor down. Anchor down. I want the hope to still be there for Vanderbilt to make the playoffs.
No hope.
Things have to happen, and we'll
The
talk
win
about
gets
that.
them to 10-2.
Yeah, man. I hope Vanderbilt wins this. I want to see Diego Pavia's mom more. Vanderbilt wins.
So does Theo Vaughn. But
He is, dude. I'm rooting for Theo with that.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I picked it in the paper and sticking with it, going the same side as Kevin, anchor down. Vandy gets the road win over their in-state rival and keeps their slim but still possible college football playoff hopes alive.
next, we've got a game that used to be a classic. Now it's one that I doubt any of us will even turn on. We'll just maybe watch the highlights for out of curiosity, or maybe a Lane Kiffin sighting or something. That's Florida State at Florida. I don't really care. Both of them are train wrecks. Florida's at home. Give me the Gators.
Mike Norvell was retained for this year.
And he's been confirmed retained for another year.
Yeah. That's what I meant. He's coming back. That's a ton of momentum for Florida State. I'm sure their fans are super excited for that. With that said, give me the Seminoles. I'm sorry, Jason. I got to pick against your Gators. Gators have no teeth right now.
And the Knowles do.
They got Norvell. They have a head coach.
Not much of one, but go ahead, Goof.
Yeah, Florida State's got to win this to finish 6-6 and get into a bowl game, but that's not happening. Shout out to you, Corey Reynolds. Your Gators get the dub and not going bowling, but you finish the season on a winning note. Chomp, chomp.
All right, now it's time to go to one that is personal for our good friend Kevan Lindsey over there with his Laurel helmet on. It's the Iron Bowl, people. Alabama traveling to Auburn. Bad things tend to happen when Alabama has to play there in Jordan-Hare. Don't think it happens this year. Give me the Crimson Tide.
Let me tell you something. There is something about Jordan-Hare Stadium.
It's Jordan.
Jordan.
It's Jordan.
Anyway, there's something about it. Even Nick Saban admitted that the place is haunted. He struggled there. Some of the most exciting times has been at Jordan-Hare. I mean, look, we were dead in the water. We were dead in the water a couple weeks ago, but it don't matter. I'm never picking Bama. They're a bunch of frauds this year. I hope DeBoer parts ways with Alabama well after the season. I hope they make the playoffs. I hope somehow they get in, even if they lose to us. And DeBoer says, I'm going to Penn State, and leaves them hanging. That way they can't get Kiffin. They can't have anything good happen to them. Maybe they'll just promote Kevin Grubb. Anyway, War Eagle, baby. Auburn wins it.
I'll never understand his fascination with Auburn. Of all teams, he's the only Auburn fan I know.
Well, you know, look. So, okay, I'll tell
Where'd he
you.
grow up, though?
I'll tell you.
Yeah, that does make sense.
So my dad was adopted, and I actually told Callie this morning. My dad was adopted. He his biological dad had went to jail, and he had sent letters to my great grandmother's house. My great grandmother hid the letters. And whenever she passed away, my dad found them. So they reconciled and reconnected years down the road. He lived in Sims, Alabama. So whenever we would go see them and spend time with them over Thanksgiving and on the weekends, and I was little, he was an Auburn fan. We'd always watch the Iron Bowl. So I kind of just picked that up. And a lot of people have said, well, why don't you root for a Mississippi team? Well, that's why. Because every Thanksgiving, whenever we would go watch college football, because my mom and stepdad really didn't care.
And you do root for the Mississippi teams for the most part.
But yeah, that's what it was. I would watch the Iron Bowl, and then I saw Auburn and Clemson, You know, that was a big thing for a little while. So it just kind of came. But yeah, that's where the connection is. My grandpa was in Alabama.
Guru, does any of that sway you in your?
No. It is a cool story, to be honest.
It is.
And, you know, I get asked a lot too why I'm an LSU fan. Number one, I was born in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's whole side of the family's from down there. I have a crazy uncle that diehard LSU fan, and being around him and going to games
Just
more
kind of
times than enough, it just grew on me.
Yeah.
So that being said, you know, I hope Auburn wins. I'll be cheering for Auburn to win the game. I just don't think they have enough. I might be close to the fourth quarter, but I'm picking Alabama just to be right, not because of anything else. War Eagle.
Next, we've got a game that will decide the West in the Sun Belt. Troy at Southern Miss. This Southern Miss should have already clinched the West. And the last 2 weeks, they've been incredibly disappointing and frustrating to the point where I'm questioning when Charles Huff became Charles Hall, because we're seeing the disappointment against terrible teams. Troy's not a terrible team. Maybe that's what it takes to get the Golden Eagles back on track, is to play a team that they're supposed to have a harder time with. But USM's burned me the last couple of weeks, so I'm picking Troy to win in Hattiesburg.
Same. I'm picking Troy in this one. I know. I'm pretty sure I picked USM to win in the paper. But yeah, I'm picking Troy in this one. Fans got to show up, and USM has to show up, and they've just been peeing down their leg the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, USM fans are even worse at showing up the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, there's probably not going to be a lot of people there. Troy and Southern identical, 7-4 overall, 5-2 in the Western Division of the Sun Belt. It's all it is. This is a semifinal to get to the conference championship game. Winner goes, loser doesn't. And I think, you know, I know a magazine's right there, and I'm not going to reach for it. We either pick Southern to finish 7-5 or 8-4. I think maybe 8-4. And which in itself is really good, but from the way they started and to what we've seen over the last 2 weeks, man, that's losing to a 3-7 or 4-7 Texas State team by 27 points. I mean, come on. I mean, something's got to give. I don't know what's been wrong with Southern Miss the last 2 weeks. And it's not been the last 2 full weeks. It was the whole Texas State game, the first half against South Alabama last week, because in the second half, Southern Miss was able to rally, tighten things up, and had a slim chance there at the end, but just ran out of time and timeouts and couldn't complete the comeback. Troy's won 4 straight in this series over the last 4 straight years.
Yep.
I mean, everything's leaning to the side of Troy. So give me the Golden Herd, the Thunder and Eagles. Southern Miss wins the Western Division of the Sun Belt.
You are still riding with those.
I got to do it.
Man, the Golden Herd, Thunder and Eagles.
Down with the ship.
You know, hey, I love it. I love it. Next, this is the game that everybody's talking about, but not because of the teams on the field. Everybody's talking about the coach. Is this the last game that Lane Kiffin's going to coach in Oxford, or it's in Starkville, but is this the last time he's going to coach the Rebels, period? There's word saying that if they win this game and they're in the playoffs, Ole Miss is not going to let Lane Kiffin coach the playoffs if he's leaving for one of those other jobs. Can't blame him.
Before you make a prediction, and I'm not making a prediction here, I just want to say that the way that the University of Mississippi has handled this entire situation has been a joke. It's been abysmal. Yesterday, North Texas coach Eric Morris got hired by Oklahoma State. And his stipulations are he remains the head coach at North Texas because the Mean Green still have a game Saturday. Then they have already won their side of the American Conference. He's coaching in the conference championship game. And if they're able to win those 2 games and earn that at-large spot as a group of 5 team and get into the CFP, guess what? He's still going to coach there. even though he's already agreed, signed a contract to be the next head coach in Stillwater for Oklahoma State.
But he's not going to a team in their same conference, is he?
No, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He's still going to complete this season. And that's exactly what should have happened with Kiffin. Even if he was leaving Ole Miss, that could have already been done with, announced, whoever it is, Florida, LSU, been the two in the front seat. Who knows if those come to fruition or not. But because he hasn't made a statement saying that he will be back next year, it just leaves so much to the imagination that he probably is leaving. And then Ole Miss basically telling him, after this game's over, you got to let us know. And then, if they do beat State and they're 11-1, they're going to the playoff.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Most likely they're hosting a first round playoff game. And just because he decides that it's better for him and his family to move on to one of these other two schools, why can't he finish out what he started? To me, it's dumb.
In today's day and age of the transfer portal, the more time he's with that team, the more he's going to be able to recruit them to follow him to the other destination. I personally agree that if he says he's going to a school in conference, go ahead and go.
Why does it matter though if it's in conference or out of conference?
I mean, I think he shouldn't be coaching. I really think what needs to happen is college football should take a hard look at themselves here and institute rules to where you can't even talk to other coaches until the entire season is done. If that hurts your recruiting, so be it. That's what the SEC is supposed to be about unity. It's supposed to be about sharing with the other members of the conference. Look at the NFL. Same scenario. But you can't hire an NFL coach from another team while they're still in the season. Even assistant coaches you can't hire. I'm just saying to make a rule for the head coaches, and then we don't have to face this scenario at all.
No, I totally agree with that.
Look, and I'm not an Ole Miss fan. You know that, but I don't necessarily think that Ole Miss is necessarily in the wrong to say, go ahead and go if you're out. You want to add anything before we get to the pick?
I think that it's just been handled poorly by everyone.
Yeah.
The end goal is I agree with what Guru has said before and what you just said. They shouldn't be able to talk to coaches until after the season is over with. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that goes the same way. I know you mentioned it, how the transfer portal has changed and all that stuff. I just feel like if he leaves, I think you're going to have a situation where people are going to be sitting out and things like that.
Now they're going to hit the portal.
Yeah, I mean, hit the portal and sit. I mean, they can still sit out. But here's my thing. The one thing that I've seen, and I told Callie this morning, is the one thing with Ole Miss that I will say, and the fans, there are some fans that I know that are like, I hope Kiffin leaves because I'm so sick of him being in coaching rumors nearly every year and all
Those
this
fans
stuff.
are delusional.
Well,
That just means you're a good coach.
that's exactly right. And I told Callie this because she said, well, I got sick of it with Mullen. And I said, you have to look at it like this. If your coach is not good, your coach is not going to be in coaching rumors. People tend to have short memories and forget that after Alabama won the 2011 national championship game and the 2013 national championship game over LSU and Notre Dame, where was he always being linked to go to?
Texas.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if Sark leaves tomorrow and he leaves Texas, Kirby Smart will be on that list. There you will have a Lane Kiffin on that list. You will have a whoever else, Vanderbilt's coach, on that list. Like, you're going to have, it doesn't matter what program you are. Alabama was the pinnacle in the early 2010s, but there's always a school out there that's going to be rumored that your coach is going to go to.
Absolutely.
And if you were good, if your program is doing well, then that's always going to happen. And I'll say a rebuttal to Jack's opinion in the NFL for this, and it's just like we see it. I think it was the Rams head coach. I don't know why I can't think of his name, but he was an assistant.
McVay?
McVay was an assistant, and they were like, well, he's expected to go here. The same way, I think it was with Atlanta when they went to the Super Bowl, their offensive coordinator, he's expected to go here after the season. Yeah, you can't officially hire anyone, but they talk.
Yeah, they talk.
They talk. And I think that's the same way it would be in college football. Even if you put a rule in there, they would still be talking. I mean, we didn't pay players until a few years ago.
Well, I mean, you know, once you get agents involved, of course they're going to be talking because what's the agent wanting to do?
Right.
Put money in his pocket.
And that's another thing, too. And I will say this. I'll throw this conspiracy theory in here that I think that it could be that Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin are setting up for them to win the Egg Bowl Friday. And then Saturday morning, they don't have a statement. Their statement is all across social media of a hype video, and you see extension across it, and that whole thing, and it's just national media going and gobbling it up that Ole Miss sent out a big thing, and they holding the Egg Bowl up, and Lane Kiffin's like, I'm still staying here, and all, you know, like that.
I said that a few weeks ago because it also ties up LSU and Florida from hiring a coach.
Yeah.
You know, because they're still playing the lane game, you know, and like I said, it's a mess. I'm sure y'all are as sick of the story as I am because it's turned into a soap opera and nobody looks. Kiffin doesn't look good. Ole Miss doesn't look good. It's just a bad look across the board right now because Kiffin's old school reputation of, you know, how he left Tennessee to go to USC. He got fired on the tarmac. There's still a lot of people out there that think that this old Lane Kiffin that people refer to as a snake still exists. And I think that's part of where a lot of the emotion comes in of everything. Hopefully Saturday we get an answer one way or another and we can move past the Lane train for a little while. I don't think Kevin's wrong in believing that that's possible. Who knows? I know what Guru's hopeful for.
I mean, you know, at this point, Jack, you know, yes, I want him to be the head coach at LSU, but I mean, I don't know if I like the way this whole thing's been handled. Yeah. I mean, just all around, like you just said. But I mean, if he turns around after all this has gone on over the past 2 and 3 weeks and stays at Ole Miss, then I'll be absolutely glad he stays there. I don't want somebody like that drug 2 other programs along on a leash for 2 weeks. And that's why me personally, and I don't know, maybe his agent Jimmy Sexton's lying to LSU and to Florida because I'm pretty sure Lane Kiffin and Jimmy Sexton know what's about to happen, one way or the other.
They 100% know.
And they drug either LSU or Florida along for the ride. And even though they're not going to play every year, when they do get to play, that's going to be one hell of a renewed rivalry.
Yeah, or Ole Miss drug along because, again, we don't know the end result. We can speculate if he stays Ole Miss or they may not know either.
I think Ole Miss knows.
But, of course, we have to pick this game. A lot of distraction coming in. It's being played in Starkville. Mississippi State has to win to become bowl eligible. There are all these things that point you to picking Ole Miss. And I do want to point out that Guru on the rundown sheet has them as Old Miss instead of Ole Miss. And that I don't think that was a typo either.
Nope.
This game, the Egg Bowl is always a difficult game to pick, no matter what the records are, because this can define a season for a team that's struggling. And in years past, when Mississippi State has come into this game needing a win to become bowl eligible, didn't matter what Ole Miss's record was. Normally, Ole Miss had the better record, and somehow State found a way. But I told you guys weeks ago, I'm not picking Mississippi State again this year because they've just let me down too much. Ole Miss shuts out the distractions. They hold on to the golden egg for another year.
Ole Miss wins this game just because of one reason.
Shaping.
Yep. Labby is going to die on the heel of Blake Shaping. And unless something crazy happens and Kamario Taylor plays the majority of this game, they win this game. Ole Miss does. I think it will be close. If it was Kamario Taylor starting, I think that it is a lot closer, and I would give Mississippi State more of a chance. They're going to be at home. I think there's a lot of distractions and things like that, but I do think Ole Miss wins this game and puts themselves in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll jump right in there on the shaping thing. I'm not a big fan of. We've discussed that ad nauseum on this show. KT should be the starter, and that's all I'm going to say. The distractions is what bothers me. I wonder what the players at Ole Miss have been going through. Because if Lane is leaving, he's already talked to guys on that team that he wants to bring with him wherever his next stop is.
Yeah.
So where's their mindset going into this game? Not only that, but like y'all said, this is a huge rivalry game. Things have happened that weren't supposed to happen many times over the years. And, with Ole Miss having those distractions, and not only that, but you compound it because it's Mississippi State. Sometimes, you come in as the favorite, even though it's on the road, even though you're going to be hearing cowbells for the next 72 to 96 hours after this game. You're playing to get in the playoff.
Yeah.
Something that they haven't been able to do. They're still, I looked it up last night. Well, actually about 2:30 Wednesday morning it was. This show coming out on Thursday, but Ole Miss has a slim chance with the win and a couple other losses, and they could get to their first SEC championship game. Mississippi State doesn't have anything really other than beating Ole Miss. I mean, they beat Ole Miss, they get the egg, they finish 6-6, they get to go to a bowl. I mean, but doesn't old saying go, pressure builds diamonds?
It does.
And it looks like Lane Kiffin has kind of built a diamond there in Oxford. That's why Mississippi State's going to win. Too much pressure. Go Dogs. Clanger, 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 clanger.
Here's some news in case y'all missed out on. South Florida head coach Alex Golish is expected to accept the job at the University of Arkansas. And this is why I think it ties into Ole Miss and Mississippi State. He has communicated clearly with their staff and AD and everyone at South Florida. As South Florida has said, since Saturday's game, I'm quoting this, since Saturday's game, Coach Golish has been presented with outside opportunities that he has been transparent about us with. We are respectful and supportive of Coach and his family in their decision-making process. We'll remain in constant communication. Bulls Nation, rest easy.
Kudos.
Yeah.
That's the way it should have been handled at other places.
Yep.
Oh, goodness. Before we move on to our high school picks, where's Kiffin going? Start with you, Kevin. Where's he going? Just quick answer.
LSU.
Guru?
Staying at Ole Miss.
All right, then I'll go Gangsville just so we can pick all of them. Because that's how little we know about what's going to happen there. So.
Actually, I meant to say staying in Oxford, and he's going to be the next coach at Oxford High School, so he can coach his son Knox for the next 2 years. He's taking a sabbatical, then him and Knox, after those 2 years, are coming back to Ole Miss.
There you go.
Knox is wearing LSU headphones.
He was, but he also toured. He did go down there, and you know that, and I'm sure they gave him those headphones.
I'm sure Knox is involved in it as much as his daddy is.
Oh, goodness. Moving on. I'm done with Lane Kiffin. Let's no more Lane Kiffin talk today. Let's move on. I'd rather let Kevin talk about Taylor Swift.
Wow. There we go.
Kevin, you got a Taylor Swift take at the moment?
Yeah.
What would Tay say about Lane?
I don't even know if she knows who Lane Kiffin is.
It's muted because Lane came up, so he lost it. Guru cost you your Taylor Swift moment.
The Eras Tour movie is 3.5 hours long.
That's well shorter than this Lane Kiffin drama, but time to move on. We're into the playoffs, and we're not going to be talking about 4A or 7A South and North state championships because we just don't have any. But next week we will be picking all of the state championship matchups. So we're going to start here in 1A. The North State Championship game is featuring Calhoun City at 11-1 as they travel to Biggersville 12-1. I'll be honest, I have done no research on this. So I'm going with the home team.
On this week.
Yeah, Biggersville gets my pick because they're the home team.
Yeah, I'm going with Biggersville football on this one.
I know Calhoun has made it to state title games over the last 5-10 years, but I'm with you guys. Sweep Biggersville.
Next, we've got South State Championship for A1. Taylorsville at 9-4 travels to Simmons, who are 11-0. Taylorsville was one of those teams that early on we were very, very disappointed in, and then they've rallied off 9 straight wins after starting 0-4. The Tartars just always seem to find a way this time of year. They find a way to a state championship. I think they keep that streak alive. I think they're going to go in and hand Simmons their first loss. Give me the Tartars.
Same. I'm going with Tartars. Wintersville, baby. That's, one of the most prestigious schools in the entire state. Give me the Tartars.
Goo's not going to stick with us, it looks like.
You know what the Simmons logo is?
Mm-hmm.
It's the Superman symbol with the S.
Which is funny because they're the Blue Devils.
Nah, but they're Superman of 1A. I'm sorry. Tartar season ends. Simmons goes on and wins it all.
Next, we've got the 2A North State Championship game. Kemper County at 7-6. They're traveling to East Webster, who is 12-1. Give me East Webster in this one.
The one time I've heard anything about Kemper County this year was whenever Heidelberg beat them like 8,500-0 and was up 200-0 at halftime. With that said, I know there's a lot of Kemper County fans that are saying they're beat up and still winning and still making it that far in the playoffs. And like Laurel, they've had a tough schedule. But, yeah, give me East Webster in this one.
Well, let's see. Lost Equipment 34-32. Knoxville County 36-12. Heritage Academy 37. Yeah, give me East Webster.
Now we've got a fun battle in the South State Championship of 2A.
Fun.
Fun in the sense that they're schools that we cover. Not necessarily that it's going to be a fun game, mind you, but we've got Mize at 7-6, traveling to 11-2 Heidelberg.
Game both of you guys will be at.
Yep. And Heidelberg's just, they've already destroyed them once this year. I think it's going to be a similar score this time. Running clock by halftime. Give me Heidelberg.
I'm excited for you to see this Heidelberg team, Jack. Genuinely.
I am too.
I've had the last couple of years where I've been able to watch this team, and, man, I love Coach Carter, and I love these kids. It'll be my first time this year getting to see them play. With that said, Mize in their last 2 meetups have not scored a single point. They've been outscored, I believe it's 102-0. Either 102 or 106. I can't remember if they won 56 or 52-0 last year. With that said, Heidelberg is going to roll, and, man, I feel sorry for Kemper County or East Webster next week.
Yeah, it feels like the North State's the race to lose to Heidelberg's. Oh, goodness. Next, we've got Noxubee County at 10-3.
Pick on that one.
Is what's that? Oh, that's right. We're skipping Goo. That probably because I know who you're picking.
No, you don't.
Oh, go ahead and pick Mize then.
Gotta have faith. Isn't that what George Michael said?
That's a poor example.
Yeah, first time these two met, Heidelberg won 50-0. Last 5 games, 54 points, 60 points, 78 points, 56, 64 points scored by Heidelberg. Heidelberg rolls in this one. And to recap, last week we picked Jack had 66 for the Heidelberg score, Kevin 62, I picked 64 or 54, and the score checked in at 64. So those two dudes tied. And give your for this week, Heidelberg points.
Let's go ahead and enforce the Price is Right rule, and I'll give Kevin the victory because I was over the amounts.
Okay.
Because I don't like ties. I'm gonna stick with 66. I've been good
Jack
with
likes
it.
his number.
So I'm gonna stick
Kevin?
with 66.
I'm gonna say 56-6. I think mine does score.
I don't know why I'm sticking. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go 48 to nothing.
We would check back next week to see who wins. Oh goodness! This time, because I made sure Guru got his pick in now. So, 3A North State Championship, Noxubee County, 10-3 at 9-4 Wyona. Give me Noxubee in this one. I think they'll go on the road and they'll win this one.
Noxubee's the second best team in 3A. They're going to win this one. Beat Winona. Go on to the state title.
Yeah, Noxubee County's been a team that's like Calhoun City, who's played for multiple state titles in the past decade. Really don't know that much about Winona, and that's why I'm picking Winona in the upset.
And now we've got the South State Championship where you have 5-8 Seminary travel. 8-5. Sorry. That happens.
You told us to correct you.
It happens once a week. We know that's going to happen. Seminary 8-5, traveling to 12-1 Raleigh. Raleigh's going to roll in this one. I think they've got their path to the state championship. I think they're going to punch their ticket this weekend.
Seminary's going to give them heck, man. Seminary's going to give them heck. Mitch Evans is so close to having Seminary there. It would not, I'll be completely honest, I'm going to pick Raleigh, but it would not shock me to see this game once again come down to the wire and Seminary somehow upset Raleigh. It would not. With that said, though, I'm picking Raleigh in this one.
Yeah, this should be a good game, like Kevin just said. I mean, if you go back and look at Raleigh's run in the playoffs, it's not Heidelberg domination. They've been tested, but they stayed the course, and I still believe they're the best team overall in 3A. And whether they have to block a punt, return a punt for a touchdown, cause a late turnover, Raleigh finds a way to win and move on to face Winona.
He's sticking with that pick. Let's move on as we get to 6A, and I'm particularly excited about this North State Championship game because you've got Ridgeland at 11-1 traveling to my alma mater, Warren Central there in Vicksburg, who is 10-2. Warren Central, again, they've won a couple of state championships, but they haven't won one since I think it 94. So that was a year after I graduated high school. So they're getting back. Ridgeland has an impressive record, but 11 brothers are hard to beat. Give me the Vikings to win at home. Warren Central's going back to the state championship game this year.
So you said you went to Warren Central, right?
I did.
You're a Warren Central grad.
I am.
Yeah, I think that Ridgeland absolutely does not win this game. I'm gonna pick Warren Central.
Vikings, baby, for Jack. Do it for Jack, Warren Central.
They're going to lose because we all picked them. Oh, man. Next, we've got the South State Championship. Picayune at 10-2 travels to Hattiesburg, who's 11-2. Big rivalry game, right? Big rivalry. Big rivalry game.
The Union, the Berg.
Hattiesburg's a team on a mission, and even if my Vikings get there, they're going to have their hands full with a Hattiesburg Tigers team next week because Hattiesburg's going to win this game.
Oh, it's my turn?
It's your turn.
My bad.
Put your helmet back on. I think you lost focus.
Okay, calm now. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a really good game. If I wasn't going to be at Heidelberg, This would probably be my third game I would pick besides Seminary and Raleigh because, man, Picayune's a good team. They're a good ball club, and I think Hattiesburg's run is going to fall just a little bit short. It's just hard for me to pick against Picayune. They're kind of like West Point. They have a system that they do, and they do it really, really well. And I'm going to pick Picayune close in this one.
Not a bad pick at all. It's hard to pick against the Union, especially in such a huge rivalry game like this one. That's why I'm going with Hattiesburg to win at home, face Warren Central, and then beat Winona.
So Hattiesburg's going to face Warren Central. You didn't pick that game. But then after that, they're just going to challenge Winona just for the heck of it. Yeah. I see that happening. That seems feasible. Let's go to 5A now as we have the North State Championship game. I'm pretty sure I can go ahead once we go here and say who everybody's going to pick because you've got Home Central at 10-3, traveling to face 12-0 West Point. West Point's going to win this one. I don't see a path. They've been too dominant. Give me West Point.
There is no more of a lock in this South North State Championship weekend than Heidelberg. But West Point is 1B. If Heidelberg is 1A, give me the West Point Green Wave.
Finally. You guys are right. Absolutely right. Even if they have to cheat their way to do it, West Point goes to Starkville.
Next, we're going to 5A. And in 5,
We're
to
in
the
5A,
South
Jack.
State.
We're in 5A.
I'm trying to go backwards and pick that same game again. We're going to South State, the game that we've have a vested interest in. Our game of the week, of course, because it features our very own Laurel Golden Tornadoes at 6-6. But they got to travel, go face Old Brook at 10-2. This is a difficult matchup. They've already lost to Old Brook once this season, but it was close. They got to go on the road this time. I think Coach Ernest has those boys rolling at the moment. It's going to be a good game, but the Laurel Tornadoes find a way back to the state championship game. Give me Laurel.
There might not be a team hotter in South Mississippi right now, starting 0-6. Then you come out and you win, and you win, and you win. You prove who the better Tornadoes are in the first round. You go down to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College because Stone ain't got a football field. You go down there, they try to lock the gates on you. You still find a way out.
Geronimo!
Yeah, Geronimo, the East Central commit. The wide receiver core is deep. Bivens is finding his stride. The defense is absolutely playing well. And you're going to Old Brook. And that, my friends, is where it ends.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Give me Old Brook to go to the state championship. No sirens Friday night.
Coach Ernest.
Thanks for the helmet. But it's all over this week.
Coach Ernest, if you win this week, I think you should try. I think Kevin should have to partake in a practice. I think Kevin should have to partake in a practice after that.
He can be the tackling dummy.
Why not?
You know, Jack, it's hard to beat somebody twice in the same year.
It is.
Especially in high school. I remember 2015, Laurel coming off of their state championship in 2014, looking to go back-to-back. They beat Wayne County during the regular season. Then you get to the South State Championship game right here between the bricks and the City Beautiful. Wayne County came in and took care of business. It's kind of flipped this year. Old Brook came to Laurel 7 weeks ago. Beat Laurel 14-6. Now Laurel is on the road, and they're going to exercise the demons. Laurel is Stark Vegas bound.
Grab that helmet and put
Throw
it
them
on.
L's up.
Grab that helmet that he disrespectfully threw on the ground and let the Laurel Tornado alumni wear it like he did in the day.
all the way, baby.
Awesome. So again, we'll be looking forward to coming back next week, giving you hopefully a victorious recap as we continue to go on. And again, it's going to be a lot of fun as Guru is dancing and holding the L up, not for a loss, but for Laurel. And hopefully the Tornadoes will be victorious, and we'll have something fun to talk about a state championship possibility. Coach Ernest, I do believe that Kevin should
I love
have
you,
to suit
Laurel.
up.
I love you. I'm rooting
Make
for
him-
you.
Make him suit up.
I love you.
L-Town, L-Town, L-Town.
Anyway, tomorrow, or probably today when this is released, it's Thanksgiving Day. Take a moment and spend time with your family. Enjoy those moments. You never know when your Thanksgiving might be the last one with a particular loved one. So take those moments. Don't worry about fights or anything like that. Take a moment to just enjoy being around your family. I'm Jack Fairchilds, and for Kevan Lindsey and Josh Guru Nichols, we'll see you guys
Throw them
again.
L's up.